Hello, this is wmpyr. Sorry about last week. I'm finally recovered, so let's get right to it. Okay, so for today's lesson, we're going to be working with single knife, so make sure that you invest in a training knife. All right, and we're going to start off with the 5 angles of attack, which I have shown you many times before, but bear with me. We're going to kind of go cover like a blueprint for this. Okay, so the first thing is the 5 angles of attack, which is diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, horizontal, and then a stab right there. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5 angles of attack form. Diagonal, diagonal, horizontal, horizontal, and then stab. Alright, so I have showed you guys before in the past how to evolve it. Alright, so what do I mean by evolving it? Basically, like you can add a technique. So you could add like a roof block and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roof block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could add a technique on there, or you could change it to where each move now, each one of the 5 has an extra technique on there. So you could add a stab for each one. So stab and then diagonal, stab, diagonal, stab, horizontal, and then double stab at the end right there. Or you could do a double cut. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so that's all based off of the original 5 angles of attack and evolving it. And there's an unlimited possibility of how you could evolve it. Okay, so before you start evolving it, more relevant, what you should be working on immediately is to just practice the 5 angles of attack over and over until it's muscle memory. Now that's harder to do because it's not as interesting. So that's why I showed you how to evolve it. And evolving it is definitely for long-term training. That's a ton of homework that you can do for a very long period of time. So it's long-term training. But what you should be working on right now, though, as much as you can, is to just put in diligent hard work in the 5 angles of attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to where, I mean, you could be in your sleep and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Someone bumps you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just comes out very naturally. You don't have to think. It's muscle memory. That's very important to do, to where this should be like nothing. So as I'm doing this, and I'm not even thinking right now, I could actually be thinking about other stuff. So as I'm doing this, I'm actually thinking about more complicated stuff, like maybe my footwork. Maybe I can include a sweep. Maybe I could throw in a kick, you know. Maybe I could angle off and then set up a different technique, a more powerful technique. So I could actually be thinking about other stuff because this is nothing to me. All right, this is so natural. Okay, so that's exactly the first step that you should be working on, making it super smooth muscle memory. The second step that we want to be doing is we want to make it into combos. And I have showed you this before, but you're going to take out bits and pieces from the 5 angles of attack form. So 5 angles of attack form, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we take out the first 2, which is the diagonal, diagonal, that's a combo in itself. 1, 2, a diagonal and a diagonal. So you could be moving around. Okay, the attack comes in, boom. I just try to cut his hand right here with a diagonal, diagonal. That's number 1 and number 2. Move out of the way, 1, 2. Same thing. Moving, evading, 1, 2. Anything comes in the way, 1, 2. Try to put that 1, 2, diagonal, diagonal in there. Another combo is 3, 4, side to side. Okay, so same thing. You know, different targets present different angles for me to attack. 3, 4, right there. So I have this diagonal, diagonal, but then I also have 3, 4, 3, 4, 3 horizontal, 4 horizontal, just like that. And now I could also make more combos like 1, 2, and 3. That's a diagonal, diagonal, horizontal. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, maybe that's all I get. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so like I said, once you have put in enough time with the 5 angles of attack to where it is muscle memory, the next step is, it almost feels like you're taking a step backwards, where you're actually going to break it up into components, break it up into smaller combos. Okay, why is it important to do this? The reason why we're doing this is because if I could go up to my opponent and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all 5 of that lands perfectly on the guy, it means that my opponent has the reflexes of like a rock, basically no reflexes. It means that my opponent is terrible, and I don't want to be training for a terrible opponent. I always want to be training for someone, in Mario Sperry's words, someone that's as good as you are, if not better, always. So, you know, keep aiming higher and higher and higher, all right? That's how you improve. So, what we're trying to do here is that we're incorporating failure. That's why we're doing combos. So, if I do my 1-2 right here, I expect him to get out of the way, or I expect him to attack back, so now maybe I have to get out of the way, all right? So that's all I had. That was all that I could sneak in, 1-2, and then I have to, you know, keep the distance, zone out, or whatever it takes, okay? Maybe I have to start blocking, start running, sprawl, whatever it takes, okay? And then maybe my next opportunity is just a 3-4, that's it. That's all I have. Once again, if I'm able to go up to my opponent and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and everything lands, blood's everywhere, then, you know, how good was this guy, you know? So that's very questionable. So, once again, I just go 1, 2. That's all I get. Maybe that doesn't even work. So he's getting out of the way, and now we're angling off. So now I have the 3-4 right there. That's all I get. So I can keep pursuing. It's easier to adapt and put in smaller combos instead of trying to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To make all 5 work is very difficult, all right? But if my combo is only 2, or if my combo is only 3, and out of the 3 I only want 1 to work, that's much less commitment. If I'm doing a full combo and I'm doing like 5 moves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm only expecting 1 to actually hit, it's like, why am I doing the other 4? You know what I mean? It's a huge commitment on my part. So then, in that case, if I could just do 1, 2, all right, that's a much less commitment right there. And you might be thinking, well, you know, like in boxing or kickboxing or even MMA, it takes a lot of shots to take down an opponent unless you get that lucky KO. It takes a lot of hits to make the finish happen. Well, that's why you string combos together. But you don't do a 30-hit combo. You know what I mean? It's not a video game where you're doing a 50-hit combo or something like that. You're doing bits and pieces. So you're doing 3 hits, 2 hits, 3 hits, 2 hits, 1 hit, 1 hit, 3 hits. You know, so it's a bunch of combos put together, link them together, and that's how you're getting in total 20 hits, 30 hits. But it's not 30 hits non-stop going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, this looks smooth and nice, but this is not where you want to be at. It is a necessary step to be able to be smooth like this, okay? So you could keep doing your combos like this, boom, 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 and keep going free form. Okay, this is all nice and everything, but for a more realistic technical application, you want to divide it into combos, and that's the next step. All right, so thank you for watching, and take care, folks.